One of the most tolerant men in the history of humanity.
He's highly intelligent, kind.
First of all, he is a mensch.
And if he gives a word, he keeps it.
The most honest person I ever met in my life.
You don't have a place to bring a girl, you go to Misha.
He's very cool. I like him.
Gregarious, generous, and practical man.
Perseverance and hands together and moving to the future.
He has a lot of positive vibrance.
And he's very happy, he's very optimistic, life is good.
A very romantic man.
He has great legs.
Misha is loving.
Misha is hot.
An unconditional, absolute love for his family.
Dad has a great sense of humor.
Misha has a funny sense of humor. It's very Misha, I don't know.
Or when he wakes up in the morning, claps his hands, hop, hop, hop.
My pet peeve is the fact that when he gives toasts or speeches, they go on for too long and I cringe.
Michael is generous to a fault.
Among numerous acquaintances of mine and friends, he was the one I could turn to in need.
Michael helped a lot of people to find jobs in United States.
I remember him always being a real hard-working guy.
We always had a drippy faucet, but everybody who came to him ended up with a job.
People love him.
A lot of talents in one man. And I'm proud that this man is my brother.
I was born in Riga, Latvia on November 4th, 1946, just a year after the war. My first memory about myself when I was 2.5 years old and my leg stuck in the hole on the slide about half of the way and it broke open. I was very surprised. I don't recall the pain itself, but this is stuck in my mind for life. The second episode I remember when I was 4 years old, my brother David had circumcision.
I remember it very well, even though I was only 21 days old.
I remember there were a lot of people around.
And all the relatives who survived the World War II from mom's and father's side, and their friends came into this apartment on the 5th floor, a big long table.
And nobody looked at me anymore, and I was very furious that whole attention was to him.
Of course, I don't remember the process itself, but I visualize it very often because they did it. And obviously, I know it about, and I think about it each day.
This was the first introduction to my brother that I think impacted my relationship with him.
Center of the universe.
for life. Perhaps it continued until now, but
by the way, he acts in my psychological life like a kind of a shield for me, because I know that as long as he's alive, as long as he is here, that I feel protected, because I know he's an older brother and he was always taking care of me. Unlike in the early childhood, when he was taking advantage of me.
I played with larger boys like myself, so David had to come up with some way to motivate me.
To be entertained, you have to have something. If not money, you have to have oranges and chocolate.
So he will give me a piece of sugar, which was a big item, or a chocolate, which was happening once a month perhaps.
He's screaming at me, "You are bloody German soldier! Thousands of you, I'm gonna kill you! And then he would definitely request a payment. The oranges and chocolate. As a child, when he was 9 years old and I was 5 years old, Michael would imagine himself a hero.
We had a big sofa where we could throw in pillows and other stuff during the day, but I use it as Israeli tank. At the time it was a Russian tank.
My brother still told me that now I am the one to play the tank driver.
I didn't realize at the time, and it was a dramatic experience for both of us. I was laughing, he was crying. Apparently there was not enough air inside.
Because I was dying and my brother was so excited because somebody was dying. The neighbor from the apartment downstairs heard those voices. And she came and she rescued me.
I remember it very well and feel like I was abusing him in a way. But I hope there were other positive things there as well that help him to become what he is today.
When I remember myself, first time in my life watching a television set, my brother was always next to me, explaining, providing me with comments on all the events. The first screenplay I encountered was the one which was created by my brother.
I never knew about Misha. What's very interesting that he is an artiste.
He made up stories about love stories. A girl who fall in love with a very rich prince.
He's always been incredibly imaginative. I mean, for 5 years straight, he would tell us the story about the monkey, the adventures of Petya Metya.
He was telling this story to me each night, segment by segment, segment by segment. And finally, I realized that I had visualized the entire picture.
These things were so fascinating. I just couldn't wait for them to go to sleep the next night to hear the rest of the story. And my sister and I just love that.
And he has a great imagination. And this I like it very much.
I agree.
I remember this wonderful moment when Michael was dating Celia and all of a sudden somebody rang the bell to our apartment. I opened the door and I saw a beautiful, very young, very tall, with a wonderful, beautiful eyes, Sophie Loren, standing in front of me. I was in such a shock that I couldn't talk.
My friend brought me to a ball. She just pulled me out from my house. I was very depressed at this time because I was in love with another person.
I like her face and her hairstyle at the time. Also, the color of her gray,
a gray dress.
Mouse.
And I was dressed in gray and black and gray.
Anyway, she reminded me of a mouse, but a good one that I was very interested in.
A mouse?
Yes.
My girlfriend who brought me, she fell in love with him. And she said, Celia, look at this nice guy. Look at his figure. He has a classy figure. And when the dancing started, he came and asked me for a dance and never left.
Yes, I'm still here.
I said, I want to see him dating his girlfriend. He came back to me and he came with a proposition. He said that if I would like to see him and his girlfriend walking by, I could do it from a certain distance, like 50 meters away from them, but I have to pay. Coming back to my childhood, I always was paying Michael for the entertainment.